Be a visionary with debonair, a playa from the Himalayas, iconic, not ironic, and become a night owl tonight, where like-minded members get together at the Night Owl Lounge, enjoying extra content, backstage hangouts, exclusive interviews by going to realdealmedia.tv/membership. Again, that's realdealmedia.tv/membership. Join tonight.
Tonight, right here on Late Night Update. Well, we look at the world change through war, famine, genocide, and financial turnover as well. It's all for a reason. The reason, the smart cities. That's right, the takeover that's underway, that's right beneath our nose, but right in front of our eyes, is all around us. But the ends don't always justify the means, because sometimes those means come in the form of unnatural disasters. Brace yourself. Brace for impact. Get ready. Right here at Late Night Update. Welcome, everybody, to Real Deal Media's Late Night Update. It is so good to be back here tonight. I wasn't sure I was going to be here. Your late night host, of course, Dean Ryan. And what a wonderful occasion it is to be with all of you. Despite all the tech issues straight out of the 6 Underground. Well, we've managed to get here tonight because it's so important that in the downtrodden, lame side of stale news apparatus, well, that doesn't mean that our fight stops. It doesn't mean the war stops. And what that means is a war of invasion through technology is here upon us. And we're going to be getting into just what that is here tonight. And it's called the smart cities. That's why tonight's episode is just that, the smart city invasion. So we're going to be honing in on that. If you're new, Late Night Update, I should be saying this more often. Late Night Update is the oldest franchise of shows around here, as it is really tackling those issues you really need to know and care about. Okay, so yes, tonight we're going to be talking about the things that are domestic. It's going to take us from, we're going to start from San Diego and go all the way to Shenzhen, China. So we're going to be all over the place as we're going to get just a little dosage of what the UN Agenda 2030 is all about and try to put it all into perspective. Also, I got to give a big thanks to, before I forget, Mr. Kenny B out there. Yes, Kenny B over there at Rumble 59B, who suggested that maybe I have a virus in my computer, and he was absolutely on point, which you'll find out about during the break with Real Deal Tech. Okay, let's get started here with some late night update headlines, because this is how you make a smart city. Is you have to devastate the people by removing the people. Well, let's start with a few things coming out right now as Real Deal Headlines continues in the late night. Well, now a new canyon fire over there in near LA, Palisades, the whole thing over there in Ventura County this go around. In fact, I can smell it in the air, and I'm dead serious. It is a ferocious one that's now underway. Yes, the Los Angeles wildfires, they're saying, may be linked to multiple deaths, but this one here in the canyon could take the cake. Yeah, it's there seems to be a new fire every time the summer comes and then the summer ends. Well, nobody's leaving without a little dent in the markup here. Well, this is what's going on here is the canyon fire in Ventura over there in Ventura County is now it's broke out all the way as early as last Thursday in the afternoon. What do we know about it? Well, here's some of the things we know. Continuing is now the brush fire is at least 4 burning this week in Southern California. It broke out last week, as we said. The Gifford fire over there in Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo. We're talking about nearly 100,000 acres. Now it's been reported that more than 4,400 wildfires have been reported this year alone in California, which is up from 3,800 last year. Now, more than 250,000 acres have burned in 2025, the year 2025 alone, well beyond 83,000 acres through last year. At the same time, an evacuation shelter has been established. So this is so important because just like we're seeing in all these different places, so, California, the king of it all, you see things happening in New York, you see things happening throughout the world in these so-called natural disasters, displacement through North Carolina, displacement through Alabama. And they're doing it through means of fires, DEWs, floods, or in some cases, through mysterious vapor. What am I talking about? Well, in fact, this is now happening in New York. Check this out. This is how they're going to gear us up to remove the disposable, right as we were watching. Well, right now in New York, there's now a mysterious vapor going around. It's now said a deadly vapor mist in the air has now killed 3 and infected 67 people. They're calling a silent lung killer is sweeping through the Manhattan area. In 5 nearby zip codes, they're saying the body count keeps rising, and there's something to it. There's something to it, as it's called legionaries. That's right. The death toll is certainly up. It's now spreading a lung disease throughout New York City, and it's only just begun. The 3 people, as we mentioned, have now have been disposed. Sadly, the Legionnaires' disease cases have also risen as well. However, officials fear that more infections are going undiagnosed and being misdiagnosed. No information has been released on which or what patients have been infected. All the cases have been detected in throughout all the boroughs around Manhattan, including Harlem, East Harlem, Morningside Heights, and so on. Now, it has not been determined yet how patients have become infected, but a release from the New York City Department of Health said that a likely source is a cooling tower in the area. I mean, are we buying that? So here is what I'm talking about. The Legionnaires' outbreak spreads, as you can see there. That's vast. There's Central Park, if you can see the strip of green right there. And it's very interesting. And this is how, yes, thank you very much. And this is how they're clearing people out of the way to make room for the smart cities. Yes, they are. And they're doing it in all forms, really. They're doing it in forms of, like we said, earthquakes, floods, war, famine, you name it. And the UN agenda is all in the fold, in the mix of it all. Continuing here now, as we now get to our main features of the night here, as the smart city invasion is now underway. Well, the deadly vapor aside, well, that's going to bring us back to domestics, and we're going to make our way to internationals now, as the smart city agenda is definitely at play now, and it's starting in places, usually the coastal cities, just like when the COVID 1984 started. They always go for the coastal cities because they're somewhat limp-wristed and distracted with the beauty of the weather. And that certainly brings us to San Diego. Well, look at this now. Real community, real solutions. The San Diego 2030 district. Oh, it's not UN Agenda 2030. No, it's the 2030 district. The San Diego 2030 district is an indisciplinary public-private nonprofit collaborative working to create groundbreaking high-performance building districts in downtown San Diego. Oh, okay, I feel better. See how they word it? They reword it from the UN agenda tablatures. They shake it up and they make it their own. See, college comes in handy sometimes, doesn't it? This things we learn. Well, continuing now, this is a big one, and we're going to dissect this line by line by line. But look at this one right here. Well, look at the smart cities. Smart city San Diego. They're no different. is a broad public-private collaboration, as you saw there. Now, it consists of San Diego Gas, Electric, General Electric, University of California, San Diego, Clean Tech San Diego. The objective is collaboration to improve the region's energy, wink, wink. Now, if you scroll down, let me show you this here. If you scroll down here, so I continue to read this very atrocious thing. Now, the city of San Diego is one of 10 U.S. cities selected to join Envision America, in which cities will leverage technology, collaborators, and businesses to address climate change challenges and improve city services. Well, just what we need. Just when you thought you had it all figured out with the DEWs and the man behind the mask over there shooting us from Antarctica, well, look again, it's just climate change. Go back to sleep, you worthless pagan. Well, the city of San Diego, along with UC San Diego, are participating in something called Metro Lab Network, which brings together university researchers and city decision makers. Which just the title of city decision makers, you got to wonder. Number one is what course can I take to become a city decision maker? And also, who are the city decision makers? And are they from this country? And do they reside abroad in the Far East or the Middle East? Which one of the creepy East do they stem from? Let's continue here as I'm learning more as we go. Well, now there's also these solar projects. They always hide behind the solars, just like the pedos hide behind the LGBT, persuasion across the world. It's going to include things. They really need the EV, the electrical vehicles, charging stations located at San Diego Zoo. Okay, so let me add to that too. The charging stations for electronic vehicles are the most unpopular, forgotten about things. They're right up there with the cigarette dispensary machine from the old days. Nobody's using them. Continuing. Well, and then it continues. Now it says it's announced that 2017 will become the 2030 district. Look at that right there. 2030 district. Really something. In fact, look at it from this side here. This will be a better illustration of what we're looking at and upon here. So the 2030 district, that's when you get the sticker in class. But if you look before that, assistance of Clean Tech San Diego. So Clean Tech San Diego runs the electrical vehicles that are all tied into the smart cities. Now, they've installed 3,000 LED streetlights and adaptive controls downtown. Now, why is that important too? Just to add, in case you forgot, the LED streetlights not only do the mind control patterns as we've established over the course of time, but who remembers all the new lights putting in the cities where they can see if you're miracle jabbed or not? They started that in Long Beach in 2021 as we reported on it. Okay, let's continue here. Well, here it is, continuing now. Yes, the 2030 district, person of the year as the urban area where private sector and local building industry leaders, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, and then finally, the city's partnering with General Electric, which, by the way, if you don't know, General Electric's tied into the military industrial complex. They make the bombs that drop on the cavemen in the Middle East that we're supposed to be fearing right now. Yes, thank you, General Electric. Now, the deployment of 3,200 smart sensors. Do you see that right there? 3,200 smart sensors will be the largest city-based deployment of a, quote, Internet of Things platform in the world. The smart nodes will use real-time anonymous sensor data, meaning we got one that can see. He's driving a car. We have one who's not miracle jabbed and he's entering a building without putting his footprints in. Send the bots after him. See, once you can dissect this thing, it's very simple how this is all going to fall into place here. The information can be used for San Diego's something called Vision Zero strategy, meaning no prisoners, zero survivors, and only the fittest, to eliminate traffic fatalities, severe injuries. So when Gavin Newsom, in the midst of our pandemic war, when everybody was locked down, we were all wondering, why did he sign an executive order into power that California would be a totally manless, car-driven state by 2030? Now we know. It's all making sense right now. When we were all locked down Everybody was scared of getting the germ warfare that was supposedly coming from a bat when everybody was locked inside. Yet the telephone companies and all their minions and workers were all climbing poles to put in all of these sensors. It wasn't just the 5Gs and all that stuff. They were putting in sensors for this very moment. How much more evident do we need it? And the answer is a lot more. Well, when we think of all these things, well, it's usually coming in the form of fire as its predecessor before the total takeover comes. And who remembers this? Well, this is what we covered last time. Well, Los Angeles plans to become a smart city by 2028 in their Olympics. LA recently smart city roadmap for its development as a smart city over the next 7 years there. Now, here's another term they used at the time that I found. Smart City Blueprint and outlines it's connected as a equitable city. So, do we see all these terms that keep popping up here? Equitable city, vision zero. A 2030 district of the year, Internet of Things. You want internet everywhere, right? When you're in a public restroom, you might want to have internet. So we have to put sensors everywhere. We have to put what they call smart nodes, real-time sensor data to track the carbon emissions. Duh. I mean, you don't want to die of carbon emissions or, by the Houthis that might kill you after that. I mean, they're everywhere. So, yeah, we did that last time. Now, here's some of more illustrations of how this is going to look. Now, there's the smart city concept and the advantages of deploying the technology of the smart city concepts for the smart nodes. And, I guess that makes us the dumb ones. Well, if you look at that, so it shows the smart technology, it shows the smart governance, the education, the smart building, smart mobility. Then if you veer right there, you see the advantages of deploying technology. There's a lot of advantages, and one of them, you might be dead. Well, the government data analysis, it's saying right here, identifying key concerns and areas and undertaking precise actions, efficient planning, and excellent, and all these just wonderful, feel-good, joyless affirmations. So, yeah, urban residents, ultimate beneficiaries with access to cost-efficient services, greater. Let me try to translate this for you because Trump, I believe, just put into power that the police are going to have now the authority now to scoop up the dissidents, as in the homeless, especially those ones who are talking to themselves, and because you can't touch them unless they ask for your help if you're the law enforcement. Now, that sounds all good and fine on the package. We're all for that because certainly LA and the surrounding areas aren't what they used to be. But just think about the implications of that going awry. Just like when we had this conversation in 2004, all of us, when we talked about, well, what if gay marriage is the backdoor, pardon the pun, entrance to a slippery slope of a bunch of pedos adopting boys. Oh, how dare you? How dare you? Go to hell. Well, here we are again. Just what if? And just the what ifs are probably just the what's to come. Beware of it. The smart nodes. This is just incredible here. So that's how that is here. Now, let's go to the internationals now because the more we learn domestically, the more we're learning about overseas. It's not much difference now. Well, that's going to bring us now to this here. Let's check this out right now. Smart cities and the UN agendas, their entire playbook. And here is a woman who is now putting in perspective.
So digital inclusion is actually a fundamental pillar of the SDGs, of attaining the SDGs. It is the newest and the most democratic driver of development, and it can actually be one of the undergirding elements of driving and fighting for the four that we're speaking about today: decent work, economic growth, infrastructure and innovation, smart cities, habitable cities, and finally, also looking at responsible consumption and production.
Responsible consumption and production. Responsible consumption and production. Now, what does that entail? What does that look like? And notice the underlining theme of all this is behavioral management. Behavioral management. And China really did earn the gold medal on that with their golden age over there, as their societal just social crediting score has just paved the way for all of this, which we can thank American companies for providing us this dystopian future here. Well, the responsible goals. Let me add to that, and let me just get perplexed at the same time now, as the United Nations, as you just heard right there, admits that the smart cities are part of their sustainable development goals, is disguised as digital inclusion. Now, what did the big beautiful bill give us? It's going to be giving us digital inclusion. It's going to put all of your health records in one little file. See, the Obamacare was like the League of Nations before the UN, meaning before the UN, you had to have the League of Nations to round everybody up. Then that gave us the United Nations. Now, this is giving us the sole one world government by a trusted board. What did that other place call it? The decision makers. Isn't that great? The decision board of people that will decide. It's like, you get a post taken down on Facebook, you try to appeal it, and they say, well, we'll take it to the Facebook board, our community. What does that consist of? At least tell us it's a robot and AI, a community of robots. But this is what they're talking about. And they're not going to stop until they get that achieved. And it's all tied into Deagle and their performance analysis and outlook for the future. Well, let me continue on this, because this is quite stunning now. So you have the digital inclusion. You have a lot of smart cities now appearing all over the world. Now, I happen to have gone to the first one that was said to be, it was going to be patient zero, and that's in Melbourne, Australia. I've talked about that before, but there were some other ones that really struck my attention, and some of them are right here. Well, there's this one, and the irony is quite stunning. But Medabad, Bharat, India, smart city. Smart city, yes, it is. Which I don't know how that's going to work, considering it's not the most hygienic city or country for that fact, but it's somewhere in there. It's smart, we're led to believe. And then the next one is Shenzhen, China, smart city. Yes, very smart. In fact, here's a little promo of just how smart it is, so we have a better gander of just who we're dealing with. Oh, yes, you can make your smart city condo of Xi Jinping's workout studio and Playboy before and after dark. Very smart. And so are you. Very good. This is the model. China is the model. If you haven't figured it out yet, here's another one. Coming to a walk near you, Shenzhen. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Okay, we're going to take this quick break here, as we're going to learn a bit more about this and really dive into some of the other attributes of the so-called smart cities. So stay where you are. You're watching Late Night Update, the oldest franchise here at Real Deal Media, and I'll be back after this quick message.
Goodbye.
Okay, a little haywire there. Hold time. Good evening. This is Dean Ryan with a little real deal tag. Well, a lot of people the past couple of weeks have been sharing their stories of unusual text fellows, to put it bluntly, meaning very unusual, out of the ordinary text messages from complete randos. And you could also enter that into unusual friend request on social medias for those who still use it. Now, not thinking anything of it, it just sparked a very nostalgic memory of Project Pegasus.
Putting Pegasus on people's phones?
Oh, Mexico, and particularly Mexican journalists, it's like you are the number one victim of having Pegasus on your phone. They got Pegasus from Israel. It doesn't take anything at all. It's literally, I get a message on WhatsApp. If I just press on that contact that sent me the message, Pegasus is now in my phone. And they have access to everything, all of the data, even the metadata that's in my phone, and can track me, can listen in to me, everything. Just recently, actually, the Mexican president's phone was hacked. It was a phone that she said she never used. But if you're able to hack the president's phone, anyone is at risk.
Who are they deploying all this stuff against? Is it cartel on cartel for the most part?
It's anyone that threatens their operations. Politicians, law enforcement, sometimes people who are working for them.
Project Pegasus, the very intricate spyware by the Israeli tech force over there, they then gave it to the Mexican cartels, believe it or not. Hence the president of Mexico now. You do the math. Since then, it has been spread like a bad case of Israeli herpes into everybody who cares to share in the avant-garde practice of spying. In this case, cyber spying. That's why they've told people not to open emails, not to open text messages or reply to emails or any of the above unless you truly, honestly know them and they look legit. Because it just takes one keystroke of acceptance to then compromise your entire device. And that's exactly what happened with my main computer just hours ago. Right before the show, to be exact. So I am now learning what has took place because I couldn't charge the damn thing. The thing was heating up like it had a hydrogen bomb on it, ready to just implode everywhere. And it was not charging for the life of me until I did a scan of my computer and I learned what the problemo was. So just a little real deal tech advice for all of you out there. Have a little bit of in the know of what's out there so you can prepare yourself and your loved ones for not what's to come, but what's already here in the cyber warfares of the world. Till next time, this is Dean Ryan giving you some friendly advice for real deal tech. Thank you, Mr. Tech. Thank you, Mr. Tech. Okay, we are back. I am back. Okay, I'm back. Still Dean Ryan here. As you saw there, some real deal tech was real deal serious, even to the very moment of this show starting here. Okay, we're going to kind of sunset out and finish pretty hard here. But, they're getting us through hook or crook, as my grandfather used to say, whether it's fire, floods, DUIs, yes, I'm sure, but DEWs as well. But it's all behavioral management, and it's no different coming out of this administration who are trying to monitor bad speech now, which is never going to sunset all these legislations. It's going to grow into the behavioral modules for the smart nodes in the city, and they're making their announcement today.
We have a problem with anti-Semitism in this country, and the statistics bear that out. And I think now more than ever, we are seeing increased numbers. So what does that mean? What it means, if you can get from, my tone, we're going to be very aggressive. You heard from the FBI, the MPD. We're going to look for these cases. We're going to prosecute these cases to the full force of the law. It's a problem, and we're not going to.
Yeah, it's a problem that they're not going to tolerate. But there's, how many deaths in Southside Chicago of African Americans by the hour, by the day? Oakland, homeless. They don't tackle that aggressively. They don't tackle what they can't control or Ignite. And this is part of the smart city initiatives they want us to go into. Self-censorship. Oh, somebody was critical of Israel. Quick, we get 30 grand if we snitch on him. Remember that? You see, everything in 2020 was a beta test. Oh, who went out of their house without a mask, everybody? Well, let's tell Mayor Garcetti, because we'll get some just free kudos points here. You see how this works? China is the model here. I wanted to show you this real quick because I couldn't believe it until I saw it, that they actually have city applications for cities to file in here, to fall in for the smart city upgrade. Because initially, like many people, I thought, oh, these smart cities are going to be some offshore or somewhere in the desert. We're never going to see them. No, they're coming to a city near you, if not a suburban city near you. Let's continue now as we forge ahead here as time allows us to. Yeah, there it is. Look at that right there. Smart city applications. You have to see it to believe it for 2025. The application of smart city initiatives, the market of a lot of smart cities. And so they're according to research, and they try to make it, like they're showing new homes everywhere. It's valued at $1 trillion, they're saying, and you're going to projected growth is to $4 trillion by 2032, which is never the case. Who remembers the windmill and solar initiatives of the Obama administration? So here's how they try to solicit big cities who are more than willing to burn down their own fort to be part of the club here. So cost, efficiency, resource reduction, smart energy usage. I mean, you don't want to be a energy waster, do you? You little breeder, you. And then the infrastructure of the smart cities. So here it is. This is the big one. This is the aggressive part that Janine Geppetto was talking about there, the new Trump administration big sheriff there. Across the lot smart cities landscape, sensors capture massive numbers of data points for automation, decision-making, reporting, compliance. So just right there alone, decision-making. You see, this is what it's coming down to, decision-making. That's why the WEF announced like weeks ago, I think it was months ago when we covered it, that your earbuds are going to start reading your thoughts, reading your great thoughts, reading your dirty thoughts, reading your thoughts that could develop into crime, just like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise, that movie showed us. It's identical at this point. But just to top it all off here, we'll continue. Traffic sensors, yeah. Utility sensors, surveillance sensors, like cameras, motion detectors everywhere. Infrastructure sensors, parking sensors, even sensors for sensors, connectivity, instrumentation, data repositories, central management. It's all about centralization. They want to know a thought before it comes out. So the public transit, it's no different here. So you could see, and now this is where it comes into Neuralink with Elon Musk. And see, we got to be careful for those of us who are really advocating for third parties out there and what have you. Just because there's a third party doesn't mean we want a wolf leading us back into the slaughter again. And we have to be very mindful of that, because the Neuralink is going to it's going to play into all of the sensors. See, at first hand, the road to hell is with great intentions. The Neuralink stuff is it's for people with memory issues. It's people who have dementia and Alzheimer's. A lot of that has escalated since the miracle jab rollout, just like diabetes and all kinds of other ailments. But yeah, it's all playing into that. Now, here's another one here. Finally, I want to show you, this is supposedly now the top 12 smart cities in the country. We'll do a follow-up to the show here, because I really want to get into the international implications here, because I'm telling you, when I saw that Melbourne, Australia was totally Bitcoin ready as of 10 years ago when I was there shooting a documentary, I'd like to do a follow-up on that. Okay, so here's the top 12 smart cities that you need to know about. And if you're a city out there and you want to be part of the crowd, fill out an application. We'll keep it on file. We'll let you know. All right, so here it is, the list of cities with impressive smart city applications, meaning they're not really in the upperclassmen yet. So here's the junior varsity. So Fresno, California, that is a real interesting. That's a place you stop off the freeway to relieve yourself. But when when you're going to Yosemite. But anyways, you wouldn't think Fresno, California, but it's there. Columbus, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, LaGrange, Georgia, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Miami-Dade County, Florida. Now, here are the 12 Smart City finalists. Yes, and you can vote at home as well. You just push one or two for your favorite candidate here. So Dallas, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Austin, Texas, Seattle, Washington, Charlotte, North Carolina, Frisco, DC, Boston, Pittsburgh, Boulder, San Jose, New York, New York. So there's really no surprises there outside of LA is not on there. So that's why they're in a very insistent rush to burn down LA so they could be a part of the top 12 list. No shame. And then here's 12 cities in their initiatives. So you can look at this here. So yeah, and they're all making their case why that company that's saying you're going to project a $1 trillion $1 trillion of wealth. Please pick us, please pick us. So there you have it. There you have it. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about here. As we conclude here for our late night update episode here on the smart cities. Everyone needs to look into this because when you look into it, you'll discover if you're on the list or if you're vying to be on list by your greedy city council people who don't know anything. For instance, San Diego, high tech, a lot of biotech companies, they're all down there. Everyone from India is down there now. China too. Biotech. Now think about why that is. Is it because they want more miracle jabs? Well, that's one small crux of it. The other crux is all these companies are all in on the smart nodes, the behavioral management that's coming. So when you look into these things, you can deal with it properly at the local level because it's fascinating to see just how corrupt the local city council level is, who get away with it because everybody's focused on the big sport outlet of the national politics. That way they can get away with just everything they want in your local city there. And they think nobody will notice because nobody pays attention and raises a fuss about it. So San Diego, the top tech of everything, well, the saddest thing and the most ironic thing is they have the worst road conditions I've ever seen in my life. So that's not so smart. But you don't have to be a smart person or a tough guy to take down a bunch of weasels that are trying to bring us to the slaughter once again with good intentions. So anyways, we're going to end it there. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and having patience with me in this time of the late night updates. So until next time, I'm Dean Ryan saying thank you for sharing a bit of your night. And always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. In this case, stay smart. See you next time. Good night, everybody.